This video contains the full solve for mini hunt number 6, which was completed on January 13th, 2021 for a prize of $50. The hunt lasted for 13 days, and the winner was Uditaran. They have chosen to use their prize to up the ante on the next mini hunt, which will be released on February 1st, 2021, and will start at $100. Thank you, Uditaran, for making this generous choice. If you missed the announcement in the initial video for this mini hunt, you no longer need to be a Patreon supporter in order to be eligible to solve mini hunts, only to access the hints should a hunt not be solved within the first month. Okay, let's get into the solution. This puzzle began with a riddle and a cipher text. The riddle reads, "Embark on epic journey home, if you hope to crack this ode, manservant's version of the tome, pared down with Pisa's famous code." The cipher text is shown here on the screen. In addition, you may notice that in the visual presentation of the riddle, there are 3 bolded letters in the third line, M-I-T. The first line of the riddle refers to an epic journey home. This is referring to the Odyssey, a famous epic poem attributed to the writer Homer. In line 2, the word ode reinforces this by adding the idea of poetry into the mix. And in line 3, the word tome gives us the idea of a scholarly book. The word ode is also used self-referentially to the poem that is presenting this puzzle. So if we know that we need to start with the Odyssey, there are several questions that arise at this point. What version of the book? And what are we supposed to do with it? It's a fairly large book, and the only indication is that the stanza will give us a clue to decrypt the ciphertext. Luckily, the riddle gives 2 specific clues that should narrow it down perfectly. A manservant is also called a butler, and one of the translations of the Odyssey is by Samuel Butler. However, there are small discrepancies in the reproductions of even his specific translation, and the accuracy of the version needed for the solution was of utmost importance. The bolded letters MIT lead to a version of the Odyssey that is at classics.mit.edu, a site related to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So now we know what version of the Odyssey to use, but what to do with it. We need to pare it down with Pisa's famous code. There was a famous mathematician named Leonardo of Pisa who lived in the 12th century AD. Today, he is more commonly known as Fibonacci. The thing he is most known for amongst students of mathematics today is the Fibonacci sequence, which he developed in trying to model the growth of a population of rabbits. The sequence begins with 2 ones, and then adds the most recent 2 numbers to generate the next one. So the third number is 1 plus 1, which is 2, and then we have 2 plus 1, which is 3, and so on. In application to the puzzle at hand, we need to pare down the Odyssey using the Fibonacci sequence. So to do so, ignore everything except the letters, and take the letter at the positions dictated by the Fibonacci sequence. You will need to generate the first 28 numbers and find the letters at those positions. They are as shown here on the screen. You'll notice that the numbers get quite large by the time you've reached the 28th iteration of the sequence, so I assume that you would have had to use some sort of computerized aid to help finish this task. When you are done and have taken the letters at each position, you can apply them to the ciphertext as a one-time pad. This reveals the clue, "Enter Konami where answers given." According to the source of all knowledge, Wikipedia, Konami is a Japanese entertainment and gambling conglomerate. However, to anyone who has been familiar with video games since the 1980s, they may recognize it as the namesake of the famous Konami code. This is a cheat code used in many of their games, but it has been widely used today as an Easter egg or hidden event in many non-Konami games and websites. The code was popularized in the United States in the game Contra for the Nintendo Entertainment System, a game that I spent many hours playing as a child. Contra was nearly impossible to beat without using the Konami code, as it increased the total number of lives you had from 3 to 30. The code was entered with an NES controller and is as follows: up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A. The clue that you have here is to enter Konami where answers are given. I had a good number of people submit the word Konami as their final answer, which is a natural interpretation of the clue. However, what I wanted was for the Konami code to be entered where answers are given, i.e. the Digital Buried Treasure website. It could be entered via a mobile device as well by tapping twice in place of entering BA. By entering the Konami code on my website, you would reach a secret page that showed the end screen from Contra. This reads as follows: "Congratulations, you've destroyed the vile Red Falcon and saved the universe. Consider yourself a hero." For those of you that worked on the first main hunt, which had a prize of $1,000, you may remember that I gave a bonus hint on September 13th, 2019, as a reward because a user named Captain Kush had stumbled across a piece of a mini-hunt I had been working on. This end screen from Contra is what he had found, just by random chance. He had entered the Konami code into his phone while investigating my website for potential clues on that hunt, and reasonably thought that it had something to do with the main hunt at the time. I rewarded his diligence by releasing that bonus hint because I'd never imagined that someone would input this code just by random chance. There are a couple of loose parallels here that tie Contra back to the Odyssey, although they aren't really important in order to reach the final solution. The first is the theme of a hero, or of a hero's journey. The second is of an island. In the Odyssey, the hero, Odysseus, is on a journey home from war to an island, Ithaca. In Contra, the main hero characters are fighting a war on an island, and are shown departing it for home by helicopter just before this final congratulations message. However, what you really need to reach the final answer from this end screen is diligence and scrutiny. By zooming in on the end screen, you can see that I have altered several pixels in the original image. In order, those pixels marked red instead of white fall on the letters ITHACA. This gives the final answer of Ithaca. The only subtle earlier reference to the need to look for visual clues in the text was the use of those bolded letters to spell MIT in the original riddle. The color red was chosen for the altered pixels to tie in with the Red Falcon mentioned in the final message. I hope you all enjoyed mini hunt number 6. The next mini hunt will be released on February 1st, 2021, with a starting prize of $100. Thanks again to Uditaran. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you would like to support the creation of future treasure hunts and get the perks that come along with that support, you can do so on patreon.com/digitalburiedtreasure. As always, good luck.